U.S. Navy aircraft carrier collides with merchant ship off Egypt. A United States Navy aircraft carrier collided with a merchant vessel in the Mediterranean Sea shortly before midnight on Wednesday near a port in Egypt, Navy officials said. The U.S. Harry S. Truman, a Nimitz-class carrier, had been operating in the Red Sea while deployed under U.S. Central Command since December 14, helping to launch attacks in Yemen against Houthi militias there that have been attacking civilian ships and vessels tied to Israel. There were no reports of flooding or injuries aboard the Truman, and the Navy said in a statement on Thursday that the ship's propulsion systems, powered by 2 onboard nuclear reactors, were unaffected and in a safe and stable condition. The Navy also said the crash was under investigation. The online ship tracking service Vessel Tracker reported that there were no injuries to the crew of the commercial vessel, the Besiktas M, a bulk carrier built in 2003 and sailing under the Panamanian flag. The ship was traveling from the port of Aqaba in Jordan to Constanta, a port city in Romania by the Black Sea. The collision near Port Said in Egypt breaks an apparent safety streak for the U.S. Navy when it comes to crashes with commercial ships. Before the Truman's collision, the most notable recent ones had happened in 2017, and they led to an internal reckoning. 2 such collisions in the Western Pacific killed 17 sailors that year. Navy investigations found they had been avoidable, resulting from crew errors. Those crashes led to a safety stand-down in all Navy ships, and the commander of the 7th Fleet in Japan, which oversees Navy operations between the Indian Ocean and the International Date Line, was relieved of duty. The Navy's Pacific Fleet commander chose to retire after the 2 collisions when he was told he was no longer in line for a promotion. On June 17 that year, the U.S. Fitzgerald struck the ACX Crystal, a 30,000-ton container ship off the coast of Japan, ripping a hole in the destroyer's hull. 7 U.S. sailors died, and the warship's commander and executive officer were both fired after an investigation. A little more than 2 months later, a second destroyer, the U.S. John S. McCain, struck the Alnic MC, a 600-foot oil tanker, off the coast of Singapore, punching through the warship's hull. 10 Navy sailors died when their living quarters were flooded with seawater. By historical standards, the Navy's record in recent decades has been extraordinarily good. According to a 2022 report written by Samuel J. Cox, a retired admiral who leads in fatal collisions for Navy warships have been relatively rare. In 2004, the U.S. John F. Kennedy, an aircraft carrier of an earlier design than the Truman, collided in the Persian Gulf with a small traditional Arab sailing boat used mainly for transportation and fishing. The boat sank immediately, and all aboard are believed to have died. 2 warplanes on the Kennedy were damaged. The U.S. Greenville, a Los Angeles-class fast attack submarine, collided with a Japanese fishing boat, the Hanmaru, off the coast of Oahu, Hawaii, in 2001, killing 9 passengers on the fishing boat, including 4 high school students. The Truman has 9 aviation squadrons embarked and has been accompanied by a cruiser and 2 destroyers. Together, the Truman Strike Group has recently launched attacks on the Iran-backed Houthi militias, according to Central Command. The U.S. military has carried out a series of strikes on the Houthis, who on Thursday suggested they would continue attacking Israel and ships in the Red Sea if the ceasefire in Gaza fell apart. The collision on Wednesday was the second known major mishap of the Truman's current deployment. On December 22, an F/A-18 Hornet fighter flying from the Truman was mistakenly shot down by the U.S. Gettysburg, the cruiser accompanying the carrier, during an aerial